to ask if I could use a little prayer to guide me tonight. I'm calling out, not a soul can hear me, losing my sanity. Oh, I live without twisted thoughts, no my peace, just my reality. Been trying to breathe, down on my knees, it's killing me. My lungs are full, 'cause life just ain't playing fair. Hard to believe, but what you need is out of reach. My world is suffocating me. You just give me and I give. Too easy to see the truth. I never want this to burn out. I never want us to burn down. I didn't lose you, you lost me. You lost me. Whoa. I didn't lose you, you lost me. You lost me. Whoa. I didn't lose you, you lost me. Whoa, whoa. I didn't lose you, you lost me. Whoa. I've been driving through the clouds, waiting for the sun to come out. Just wanna see your face, wanna see your face, 'cause it's the only thing I'm needing now. Raise your cup, but cheers into life, cheers into life. Hey, raise your cup, cheers into life, cheers into life. Whoa. You've been calling me 1,000 times all through the night. Must be something on your mind. You know that you're lonely and you've been for a while. I see it in your eyes, I see it in your smile. I don't wanna let go, I don't wanna let go. We've been wanting more for so many years, and now it's finally here, finally here. I don't wanna hold back, I don't wanna hold back. Just hold you close and never let you go. 'Cause girl, you're beautiful, girl, you're beautiful. Girl, you're beautiful, girl, you're beautiful. There's more to say than how the story's told. Our hearts beat as one. We can't let that go to waste. All these memories can't fade away. They were made out of gold. They'll be there when we're old. I don't wanna let go, I don't wanna let go. We've been wanting
I think you're muted, Benny. I don't know if you've been talking.
for so many years, and now it's finally here, finally
Well, hello, everybody.
here.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Just hold you
It's definitely haircut day today for me. Goodness, hair's getting too long.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
So weird. Brilliant. Thank you, Cody. All right. Well, Shanti, take us away.
Okay, well, welcome everyone to our community roundtable. Chris is going to start off with some updates. Then we're going to move on to a builder update and a community and marketing update with our marketing agency as well as our community manager. And then we'll wrap up before the open floor with a update from Henrik on tech. And yeah, I'll let you start it off.
Wonderful. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today at the roundtable. The point of these is not a update. We do plenty of updates. There's plenty of times where the amazing team of D40 and Cody and Benny throughout the week to actually just give you updates on what's happening. This is put in place to actually be a roundtable, to actually get feedback, and the majority of it is there because we want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts, your opinions about how things are going, and as always, if you guys don't do that, we won't have these anymore. But I think it's super important that you guys have the opportunity to voice your opinions or your thoughts so we can address them and work together on this. So that's kind of like overall. Just a reminder of what VOI is. VOI is layer one, is a layer one that we believe that needs to be in existence. It's a community-focused layer one where we all come together, that we believe that the existing economics of current blockchains are not sustainable. That we believe that the people putting effort should be the ones that own the majority of the chain. And with VOI, 75% of the entire market cap is earmarked for the ecosystem, the community, the builders themselves, and we believe that this is the only way that a blockchain should exist. And this is us building it in a decentralized way, as distributed you can to actually get into existence. Even though it might be harder it definitely is harder to actually build in a decentralized way than it is to actually do it all under one roof. So we are here. We've made awesome progress. We're knocking on the door of mainnets, and yeah, we'd love to hear your feedback. But overall, I'm just looking on here. Shanti put some notes of things that I should touch on. So you have it in here that's talking about the quest, but I'm gonna actually pass that over to like Benny and Ace to talk about the quest and just the progress of those. So I won't spill it for them. But one thing I will talk about, because it's brief, that everybody should do is the Voy Foundation, which is the primary regulated entity that will be maintaining and running the actual Voy mainnet, has a Medium account. Cody, if somebody can actually put it in the chat, you should follow this. This is where all of the official messaging from the foundation and the only messaging that is 100% guaranteed to be true. So follow that. That is the actual the source of truth. Us, just like you, are part of the community. We're working on that official messaging. So that's the main thing there. But that's the only thing really I want to actually touch base on. But I'll pass it back over to Benny to roll over. Actually, I'll pass it back to Shanti. It looks like the builder update is next. You're muted.
Sorry.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. So we'd love to. So now Zarmian is going to kind of come up and talk about what he's building and also the quests that he is putting out and how people can get involved. Is he here?
If I can be here to see you guys. All right. Let's see. Currently, I've been working mostly on the NFT Navigator and building out quests on that platform. So there's currently 6 quests or actions we have available. Basic stuff like come in, connect your wallet, authenticate with your wallet. So sign a transaction, transfer NFT tokens, make posts. Just take you through the process of what is on the platform and available, and then the plan here is to teach anybody that's interested in what is an ARC-72 token, what is it, how does it work, what makes it different, and teach you those things, and then we're going to add more complexity as we go. So adding as new features are rolled out, and as new more interesting things become available, we'll make that available to everybody, and we'll add those to the quests. That's the main update with NFT Navigator. So that yeah, I didn't introduce myself or anything like that. That's the main project I'm working on. And then I told Shanti before this, I was like, I'm just going to word vomit the whole time, and that's what you guys are getting.
You're killing it, Zarmian.
And then
What we want.
something that I aim to do, like NFT Navigator started as a reference application for ARC-72. So what I want to do is kind of show off what gives this advantages over other NFT token standards. Why is this something that you would want to use, and what makes it as a developer really cool to build on, since Voy has embraced that standard. So that's kind of where we're going with it.
Well, that's cool. I mean, one of the things that Zarmian, for give you a little bit of intro to everybody following this, Zarmian has actually been one of the builders that have been building since pretty much when the idea of Voy started. And you've had your hands on a lot of different things. You've built the NFT Navigator, which is great. Also, the indexer that makes building with NFTs easy. Just like you said, it's one of the main draws to actually the NFT standard on Voy. But you also have done other things like built scripts to actually monitor like the block rewards, and there's the other thing that your hands are in is actually the questing rewards. I know that you've been doing a lot of work around tracking quests. Is there any type of update you'd like to give on that?
Sure. I believe we now have 14 projects listed on. So the quest tracking page is on voirewards.com. So if you're familiar with, if you've run a node and you've wanted to see like, the status of your node and how many points you were going to get in phase one, like that was the place to go. For phase two, there's now a phase two page. So up, if you go to voirewards.com in the navigation bar up at the top, you'll see phase two. You click that. And on the phase two page, it's tracking all the projects. So there's 14 projects listed now, and then the individual actions for each of those projects or quests that go with those projects. Currently, only 3 projects or action, well, more or less, have. Thank you, thank you, Benny. I'll have live tracking. So if you go into NFT Navigator and you connect your wallet and you go back to the phase two tracking page, you should see under the NFT Navigator project that you connected your wallet. That should be more or less instantaneous. And we have that with NFT Navigator. We have that with Nomadex, and also for your node rewards. And we're going to continue adding more projects as the data
Yeah, I
becomes
didn't know
available.
Nomadex was connected. So is NFT Navigator, Nomadex, and what was the other one?
Node rewards.
Node rewards. Oh, cool. I didn't even know they had quests on that one. That's really awesome.
I shouldn't say node rewards, but node health. So the number of weeks that your node has been
Oh,
healthy.
node health. Okay, that makes sense. Awesome. Because this is a roundtable Q&A session. Where do you want to see both actually the NFT space in Voi go, but also like actually I'll ask that question first, and then I'll go to the next one. Like where would you see the NFTs go?
Well, I mean, my kind of pet project has been this lounge side of NFT Navigator. So on the main page, and there's a couple quests that go with that. There will be more. And the lounge is meant to be like I want to call it like a community space, but also a way to handle decision making within communities and projects. So, and anything from, hey, we can send out a bunch of tokens to people that we know, and those people are now part of a community, and they automatically have a space where they can collaborate, but also they vote on things and take action. That kind of thing, or even advertise, like communicate with the outside world. So that's something I think is important to the.
What's missing? What do you need for that dream to? What do you need from other people, not yourself? Like what is missing in the Voi community that you really would love to see?
I don't know if there's really anything missing except for the interaction. The ground floor is getting the feature set there, making it so that these things can be done, and that's on me to make that available. And then it'll be utilizing those spaces, utilizing it for communication or for disseminating information or voting on ideas, and that I think will be that's when I'm going to be like, hey, I need people to actually use this and provide feedback and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then I don't know.
So as far as actually like specs are concerned, or really is on the developer side of things or tooling, is there anything that's other developers, Shelly, or or we can actually incentivize other people to build so that you think that when developers come in, it would be great to have this?
Well, something I've always really I've kind of wanted and still would love to see would be like a I don't want to call it an identity. I almost want to call it like a profile token, like having settings be on chain. So like you can have a profile and update your profile with transactions, and your profile is almost like its own token or a contract. And then different projects can read what they want from that. So like if I want to recognize a specific profile contract, I can, and then I can get all the pieces from that. So that way I don't have to store in a database what avatar you want to use. Like that can be something that is part of your on-chain profile.
Yeah, so the NFT, one of the projects do something similar like this. Either NFT should come over to Voy, or somebody else should actually build a profile, a ENS type of thing actually on Voy would be a great place for that for sure. Cool. So let's actually talk about, because you're really heavy into the questing phase 2 side of things, or actually tracking it and also providing quests for your project. How do you see that going, and where can like us as a community do better to actually get the actual the noise out, the reach out, getting people more engaged?
I think it's really cool because each day I'm realizing there's more projects to add. So it's become a lot to sort of keep up with. And there's more and more quests to add, like more and more options for people to do. And I see it very similar to like a learning platform, like a Coinbase Learned, and that is something that I was always drawn into, except
Yeah.
those were like click through and then you earn and you're done. But this is like, oh, actually engage with the community, engage with the projects and the ecosystem. I think a lot of it really is on the projects to make it more interesting, and that's something I really want to focus on is trying to not just be like, oh, create a post and you're done. Like actually like solve a puzzle, find something find an Easter egg, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. I think would be really cool.
I think it fits really well with the actual mission of Voy of earned incentives, rather than just do something that actually has some value, and using a Nomadex or using a Humble or using a NFT Navigator, and then actually providing feedback is part of that. And one of the big problems with like direct incentive, direct reward like that is Sybil production. Are you familiar with Sybil attacks, Zarmin?
Not any.
So
I mean,
the
except
idea is
that I
that
guess you can create like tons of wallets or whatever.
that's exactly what it is. It's really easy to create blockchain identity of saying, okay, if I can do connect my wallet and I get one Voy every time I do that, I'll just spin up a million wallets and connect a million times, and boom, I have a million Voy. I think it's something that's a lot of people in blockchain in general are working on, but it's something that's I believe that we really need to focus on and actually do well on Voy. And I think Headline has a good direction that way. It's one of those things where they're working on being able to connect multiple social accounts, and just like in general, I think expanding on that though is like just Sybil protection in general, I think is really important.
Yeah,
and
and we're even kind of seeing that. Like, I'm even seeing like just people. The quests are like I said are pretty easy right now on NFT Navigator. So like you just see people that are just posting like I'm here, and then 2 minutes later another wallet I'm here, and you clearly like just cycling through.
Yeah, so like one of the things with phase 2 that we are doing is the point system will be modified based off of how real of a person you are, meaning like how many connections to show that wallet isn't just a spun up wallet, is actually connected to a user that is real. And based off of that connection, yes, it's still being gamed, but the idea is to really harden the individual without doxing them, if you know what I mean. So it's something that we are working on, and we are actually thinking about, and making sure that these Voy games for the Voy Phase 2 testnet can't be gamed. So, and if anybody in the crowd has any thoughts overall just about Sybil protection and that type of thing, please request up.
There's actually
Benny, you got something to say?
Yeah, just while we're on the Sybil stuff. Yeah, I mean, definitely linking up social accounts, associating them to a wallet address is pretty good. There is also some Discord bots that can be used to kind of prove how human you are to varying degrees, like ranging from kind of like the least extreme being something quite tame to the most extreme being like locally it's scanning a sort of photo of you to prove that you look like a human at the very least. But obviously I can see people not wanting that. But again, it's just kind of like varying degrees of, how many hoops do you want to jump through to prove you're a human. But it's an interesting one when you look at a lot of different testnet airdrops and they all have the same issue, but they've all found ways to mitigate against it as well.
Yeah, I think that the conversation around decentralized DID is one of the big things around this, is making sure that you can have an identity without giving it to the world. You know what I mean? To make sure, like, to prove that you are a real person without proving that who you are, if that makes sense. I think it's super important, and I hope more people work on it, because it's one of those problems that a solution is not a solution until it's actually achieved adoption. Because if it's not adopted, then no good idea can actually be used, because you need to have actually a tipping point. And I think this is one of the problems with many DID projects have.
I think one of the biggest problems is that you need at least one person or one entity to say yes, you are who you say you are. And then obviously other people can verify with them, but you still need that one central person to be trusted. But yeah, it'd be interesting with more elegant solutions coming out, which might be able to avoid that. Local.
And there's several DID companies out there already. I think it's just a matter of, can we integrate them to what we're doing, or maybe that there's room for a developer to build something on Void specifically. And even if it's something like basic, where it's like, a way to be able to do what we're doing independently. Because like one of the themes that you'll get from me is that when a lot of people are doing the same thing, we should abstract that away and allow one person to do that, so that not everybody has to do it. This is why Starman built the NFT indexer. So many people were indexing their own NFTs in their own database, and it was stupid. But because now we have an NFT indexer, that saves hundreds of hours to developers of any type, people building wallets or galleries or marketplaces for NFTs. They're like having an application that maybe can tie social accounts to a wallet and then have an API to say, like, look, we already did it. Like, here are, like, people have actually created these, and this is how real of a human they are. And tying that wouldn't be a hard application to build. And I think it would be very beneficial for a lot of people doing competitions, doing rewards or giveaways or anything of that sort, to actually just tie into that existing thing.
I just use non-transferable assets at that point.
Maybe. But
so yeah, I've seen people doing this already. I know institutions looking at it as well as governments. Yeah, it's a big one, to be honest. It's a very big one.
Yeah. And the other thing that's really,
I will not bite.
What's that?
I said, you're trying to plant the seed, but I won't bite.
Am I that transparent? Like, I mean, if you just build this simple thing, I mean, everybody would use it. It'd be awesome. You won't. Don't worry. You
start
won't.
thinking about it. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm still. I mean, to Examian's original point, I think reputation system is something huge, which would be great to have in the ecosystem. Like like an actual metric people can look at to see how long you've been here, like what your karma is, like how good or bad you are, like these kinds of things. I think they open the doors to just increasing trust between everyone in the ecosystem, which would be very interesting to see.
Yeah. Cool. And then once again, is anybody else up here want to chime in on this type of talk? This is kind of like how this meeting is going to go. It's, once again, not presentations. I'm going to ask hard questions, and I hope people ask me hard questions to actually just really have a discussion. And what I liked about this is that if people can just be open and transparent, and like, don't be afraid to be like, yo, we're missing this thing, because this is people watching this that have skill sets, and I'm sure people will step in. Hopefully people hear us that there is actually a need for something like that. They're like, oh, well, if there's a need out there, let me build it. Is that it, or are we gonna move on to the next topic?
I just want to tell Zarmian there's this movie with Kevin Costner in it called Field of Dreams, and there's this really inspiring quote saying, "If you build it, they will come."
I can attest that that is not true, but
The
I
opposite
appreciate the
is
sentiment.
true.
Yeah, that doesn't
I,
work in
I,
Web 3.
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it's yeah. I've built several things that nobody has ever used. So, where are those people, Cody?
They're in the movie.
That's the missing piece. I'm not Kevin Costner. Dang it. Well, thank you, Zarmi. You're welcome to stay up to actually join the roundtable of the next topics. But let's move on to the next one. Shanti, what's the next topic?
So now Cody and Dylan can come up and provide a community update, and then we'll have Ace provide an update on the social media metrics and how those are going.
Cool. Yeah, I can start off. Hey, everybody. This is Dylan, aka D40. Just want to give you an update on the ambassador program that we've been rolling out. It's progressing really well. So far, we've had 23 people join. And the focus with these people is basically to just help us drive engagement, spread the word. And we're leaning heavily on the Zeely platform to help track activity and focus the ambassadors' attention. And we're getting some really good results with this. So if anybody is interested in joining or didn't know we had this, feel free to reach out to either me or Cody. I'm going to post a guide I wrote with also a link to the actual application. If you have questions, though, just reach out. Also wanted to mention, we have a new ticketing system in Discord, really there to help prevent clutter and improve response times. So instead of just asking things in chats, if you have like a specific issue or question, it can be super technical, whatever. It's going to ping either myself, Cody, or Bjorn from Ace, and then we're going to be able to route that appropriately if we can't handle it. And we've been seeing really good response times from that. So that's going to be right under the Voyager communities section. Just submit a ticket. So give that a try. And then Cody's going to take it from here.
Hey there, everyone. Well, I also want to say we're going to be continuing the live streams. I hosted my first one with Shelly that went extremely well. We hosted another one yesterday with Mitch over at High Forge, and it went extremely well as well. So I want to thank both of them for taking their time, live stream with me, showing me all their cool stuff that they built, because they built some amazing things, and it was really wonderful to highlight that. So if you guys haven't checked out those streams, make sure you definitely go do that. Also, want to say that we will be planning more. I'm going to trying to reach out to Kieran right now to get one set up with him, and then any of the other builders that are interested of doing an overview of their application, please reach out to me. I'm happy to do it with you guys. Happy to work with you guys, get you guys some marketing content over your applications, and really try to push you over that border, and get the word out, let people know that you're building, and you're building the future here on Void. We also have Twitter Spaces almost every day at this point. I want to thank some of my more enthusiastic Twitter Space holders, people like Haroof, Taco, Bagman, Gary does quite a few, Rach does some. I really want to thank you guys for going out there. You guys are the real soldiers out there preaching the word, letting everyone know that we're out here building a chain for you and everyone else. And if it wasn't for you guys, like, there's probably so many people that would be ill-informed or not informed. So I want to thank you. And if anyone's interested and has actually a good Twitter space, you got a good audience, you host one pretty regularly, please reach out to me. Maybe we could talk. We can maybe get you in our ambassador program. There's going to be some things we're going to be looking for. And that's going to be kind of it for right now, guys. And if you guys ever have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out to me or Dylan. We're always here. We're ready to help you guys in any form or fashion. This is what we're here for. We're all in this together.
Wonderful. So, all right. So, topic is around community and ambassador program, and then just general community update. One of the things that I've heard quite a bit from, not quite a bit, I've heard once or twice, from concerned community members is that ambassador programs are a waste of time. It doesn't actually do the job. I'd like D40 or Cody or somebody to actually to talk about that. Is like, what type of things should we expect from the ambassador program? What's the KPI that we're looking for, and what does success actually look like?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing in Web3 is that this is an enormous attention economy, right? And the only way to succeed, especially as like a brand new layer one, is to create an army, if you will, of people who are like-minded, that are willing to kind of all focus their energy and efforts on mostly just very simple tasks. For example, like if we start a new quest, we want to get that out there as quickly as possible. We let the ambassadors know, they jump in, they retweet, and that just boosts the algo. Like it's what's being done in meme coins, right? And that's kind of the flavor of the last 3 months of this bull. And it's proven, like it just works. But you need people that are willing to engage to get the ball rolling on that momentum. And that to me is a big part of what the ambassador program brings. But it's also getting people that are interested in making content, who are interested in teaching and explaining things in a simple way. Not everyone's up for that task, but it's huge in growing this, like, I don't want to say religion, but it's huge in growing this like massive, tight-knit community of people who want to further Silvio Macali's vision of this tech. It's very important.
So what do you like? How do you address, like, because like obviously there are a lot of old school blockchain people that stick their nose up to the meme coin, the shilling, the actual getting the nose like the news out there. Like they say things like they aren't real users like us. What do you say about that in general?
I think the one thing that makes meme coins valuable is community, right? Like otherwise it's useless. It's nothing. So very much like with layer ones or layer twos or whatever, the only thing that matters really is that a bunch of people come together and agree that it's useful, it has value. So like there's a lot of parallels there between meme coin communities, the ones that make it. Pepe is a good example. But there's like a bazillion trillion meme coins that launch that do nothing. They go up, they go down, they disappear. So like you can take away a lot from these meme coin communities that are successful in at least the best practices, which is constantly letting people know about what you're doing, constantly being engaging, be inviting, like, just give at least 100%. And it really doesn't take that many people to make the perception that like, wow, this is alive, this is exciting, this is something I want to learn about, I want to get involved with. And then it's infectious. I've seen it hundreds of times.
The analogy I like to use is like, that tip jar. That tip jar is empty. Nobody wants to put a tip in it.
True.
But if that tip jar has a couple of dollars in it, people want to start putting money in it because it feels like they're not the only ones. Like the narrative I hear a lot is like, mercenary versus missionary. We have a tremendous amount of missionaries here in Voy. They put effort in before there was any promise of anything. They believed in the mission. There's several people that are listening right now in here Discord, and then also on Twitter and everywhere we're broadcasting, that are very much like this. They believe in blockchain and believe that Voy has the best chance of actually truly doing what blockchain is supposed to do. But at the same time, there's gonna be merchants out there that are looking to actually just whatever is like the sparkly thing. The key is to make sure that we don't ignore them. We don't stick our nose up to them, because they are also users. They are people that actually at least care about blockchain. And the idea is to actually make sure that they are out there making enough noise to catch more missionaries, and then potentially turn those mercenaries into missionaries as well. But anything you would like to add to that, D40, about like the whole missionary versus mercenary narrative, and one having more value than the other?
I mean, I've always said very consistently that like all market participants are very valuable. for any type of ecosystem to thrive, you're going to need every participant possible. Like not everyone's going to buy NFTs just to collect them. Some people want to buy them to make a profit. Obviously that's no one here, but both sides of the coin are super important for a healthy ecosystem. Like if you don't have participation, then you don't have anything. So like every type of participant is welcome for sure. If you want to jump in and learn about the tech that's underlying this network and, the GOAT of crypto, Silvio Micali, and, all of that, like we've got that information for you. If you just want to jump in and engage with NFTs and DeFi the way it's supposed to work, like that's fine too. No big deal. Like I think both roles are super important in my view, and I don't weigh either of them higher over the other, to be honest.
Yeah. Awesome. I think this is a good segue over to pass over to Bjorn and talk about marketing and ACE in general. If you don't know, Bjorn is part of the ACE or Altcoin Edge, who's a company that we're working with as far as marketing goes to report on the numbers and the efforts, and then I'll probably ask you a couple of questions as well, Bjorn.
Hi everyone, my name is Bjorn. I'm with Altcoin Edge. These past couple of weeks, we have seen extraordinary community growth, and we are very happy with everyone contributing to VOI. Let's go over the numbers a little bit. For Discord, we grow from 2,500 to 36,000. For Twitter, we went from 3K to 5K, almost 6K. For Zili, we went from 0 to 21,000. For the Galaxy is also doing very well. We went from 0 to now 90,000. And for the Telegram, we went from 50 to 585, which is absolutely incredible. And we are very happy to see that we have made such much progress in such a short time. Also for the public Sealy, the average claim is 5 per person, so that is also a very high number for such a great community.
Yeah, you guys have done a great job so far. Ace, Bjorn with Ace. The main thing that kind of what I was talking about with D40, I think applies here too. Like one of the things that people will say is like, oh, well, those aren't real numbers. Like they're people that are there because they, they're because of the testnet program. And my feedback to that is, yeah, like they are not the same as the missionaries that are already here. But like what D40 said is like those people matter too. They're like if nobody was coming, that would be a big problem. Because when we're having extra conversations with other partners, they do ask these numbers, like all those numbers that Bjorn said. How many Discord users do you have? How many Twitter followers do you have? How many transactions do you have on your testnet? And they ask those questions knowing that not 100% of them are going to be missionaries, like you guys listening. But everybody has these types of users as well, and not having these numbers means that we are not in the same conversation as the other chains. So, Bjorn, is there anything you want to talk about that and why it's important to actually have all types of users?
Yeah, because every user will contribute in another way. You need not only you need missionaries, but you also need other types of roles within communities. But also there's also a thing that not every missionary is also a good contributor to the platform. So it is not only vanity measures that we have seen. We have also seen that the community is getting more busier, getting more things done. So yeah, I think that the numbers is not only vanity. There's actually actual value in those numbers as well.
Could I share something, Chris?
Please.
Yeah, so more granular on Twitter. Twitter is what I like to focus on a lot. I mean, impressions from Twitter are huge. 7 days, impressions are up 51%. That's massive. Profile visits are up 50%. Link clicks are up 70%. Reposts are up 462%. And likes are up 350%. So what we're doing is working. And with those two roles, like the thesis has always been like, if people just try the AVM tech that the voice built on top of, they're going to know like, this is how it's supposed to work. This is amazing. So like whether they're like already bought in or not, like if you just like get that person to engage with an ecosystem built on top of this tech, it's very likely they're going to be like, whoa, like what I was just farming, what I was just engaging with, this is better. And then they're going to be hooked. I mean, that's how it worked for me way back, when the Coinbase, earn program was going on. And this is far more like engaging, far more rewarding and aggressive, frankly. So it's working. I mean, these numbers that I'm looking at and monitoring every 7 days, they look incredible.
Yeah, this is definitely an attention economy. We need to make sure that's the reason why this phase 2 is set up the way it is and how we're trickling out the quest over time is that we want people to keep coming back, not come in, get the job done, and then see you later. It's come back every other day, every day to actually do a new thing, and then eventually you get in the rhythm. You get those people, they keep coming back, and I think that's super important. Well, awesome. Thanks so much, Bjorn. And back to Shanti to move on to the next topic. And of course, anytime somebody wants to come up and talk about any of these topics, please come up.
Does anyone have any questions or comments before we move on to Henrik's update? I think we're good. Okay. Go for it.
Henrik.
Hey, yeah. Thank you for organizing. So quick update around some of the tech. We've had 2 meetings now in the network council that's focused on the health of the network, relay runners, participation nodes, really any of the software that people run, so then and that other people can build on top of. And want to give a shout out to Rob Sanders. I think he's also here on the call. He's been doing amazing and helping organizing with Wilder. So really good stuff that's kicking off. We also had a weekly performance test this week. We are at 2.4 thousand transactions per second, which is a dip since we started this second phase. I still think it's an amazing number, but it is a dip since we started phase 2 and where some people have just turned off relays. So it's being looked into. AVM 3.24 was released earlier this week. We are currently running with 33% of nodes that have upgraded, meaning 245 out of 743 has upgraded as the status. That was the status within the last hour. Work is also in progress on the website for the airdrops, and so that people can stake their airdrop and points that's been earned. And Shelly is working on that along with Shiva. And that was it. Any questions?
Oh, you're not getting away with there without any questions there, Henrik.
Yeah. Shoot.
So I think that like you blazed past this point too quickly.
Okay.
And it's around actually doing really like real tests on this real decentralized network.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people out there talk about like theoretical maxes, but Rob, who's done actually amazing work, and really happy to have him do everything that he has. But these are real tests, right? Like when you said we did 2.4K TPS, that was almost 2,500 transactions per second that the network handled for like how amount of time, and how often do you have tested, and why is it important to actually do a real test like this?
So if Rob wants to speak to it, yeah, he's raising his hand. So I think if you want to come on stage, Rob. Thank you. And then I can opine afterwards as to why I think it's important.
Are you there?
Can't hear you, Rob. I can see you're not muted. You might need to change your mic settings. You might be on push to talk.
It's probably push to talk, just so you know.
Yeah, that's the usual culprit if it's your first time talking on Discord.
Oh, I saw a little blip.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
There
sir.
you go.
Okay, I don't know. It was my iPhone was somehow connected, so I think that was screwing it up. So yeah, so for the past several weeks, we've been basically firing as many transactions into the network as we can. It lasts for 10 minutes at the moment, so it's quite a long stress test. But what we were trying to establish was when we're running those tests, we see message backlogs on certain relays on the network, and I was trying to work out whether that was actually the limiting factor that was stopping us from getting up to the heady heights of 10,000 transactions per second, or whatever the theoretical maximum is currently on the AVM. I think point one, it's absolutely incredible that the global Visa transaction network is running at 1.7K TPS. We can do 2.4. It's amazing that you can see the congestion mechanism as part of the AVM kicking in. It limits transactions coming into the network, and it preserves the relay network from basically getting a DDoS type attack. I think one of the reasons the numbers are slightly down over what we were achieving a couple of months ago is basically I've been running 3 participation nodes so that we can run 3 instances of the spam bot. 99.9% of the time those VPSs are sitting idle, so I'm just burning money basically. So I've turned 2 of them off, and I was just seeing this week what can we hit with just one fast private machine sat here in southwest London with a pretty fast pipe, and we got 2.4 still. And I don't know, maybe if we orchestrated some sort of group exercise to get 10 or 20 spam bots running, we might establish what the actual true ability of the VoI network is. But I think running 3, we were hitting about 3K TPS, just over 3K TPS. But as I say, that's pretty much double the Visa transaction global volume. So it's a pretty impressive achievement, I think.
That's pretty awesome that the network was able to do 2.4K from a single endpoint. And of course the network handled it. There's definitely some things that we can do, like by hitting multiple endpoints, and I have some other ideas. That's back in the day when I was running tests, I was doing a little bit. That I was able to get like 5.5K because of it. But I'll share those with you as well. But it's,
and the other thing, just while I've got the microphone, is as a plea for we've had as Henrik said, we've had an update to the software, and I think it was 33% participation nodes. We need to get the relay nodes updated as well. So I see there's quite a few relay runners on this call. Henrik put out a note asking people to upgrade. So if you haven't upgraded your relay software and you're running relay nodes, please do so. I'm guessing that Henrik can probably see how many of those relays have been updated. So it would be great if we can get the whole relay network updated.
100%. I am somebody that has not updated yet, but that's not because I haven't tried. Yesterday I went through the process, and the Docker image that I use was not updated. So hopefully that's updated soon, and we can push that through. But I agree. If anybody out there running relays, listen to this, please get ready to do some updating. But thank you so much, Rob. I was super happy. And now I want you to talk about, Henrik, why it's important to actually test and why it's important to potentially test in production.
Sure. It's one of those things where there's different opinions. My opinion is that it's very much like doing a fire drill and an exercise. You want to test on the real thing. You want to see what is happening in the real world. If you do all your testing on a test net, sure enough, you see the tech works in the sense that you can generate traffic, but you actually don't see what's happening in the real world because the test net most likely will not be 100% replica. So, which I couldn't, you could never imagine would be the case in our setup. So essentially, testing on a production network, it helps us practice, identify if there's issues, and get into that cadence to know where our limits are. There is a downside, and that is anyone that is archiving the chain. There is a storage cost there. You can say for most relay servers, based on how we configured it, they are set in a non-archival mode, and there's certainly an option if people want to run an archiver, that's obviously all great. Make sure to use the cold storage options to get the historical data onto cheap storage, and then I would say it should be an acceptable cost versus not knowing where the network is and if there's anything that's a latent failure.
Yeah. I was one of the people to push back on Henrik about running tests frequently, especially on production. And one of the things that Henrik threw in my face was if Amazon does it in production, Netflix does it in production, do you think it's probably a good idea? Henrik, do you want to hit on that a little bit?
I think I said it's essentially what I have to add on that. But it's I would say AWS has it as part of their well-architected framework, and it's called a game day, and you simply practice on a weekly basis or monthly basis, whatever the cadence might be, and you just check, is everything working as it should be. And meanwhile, you serve your customers, right? Like that's important. So obviously, you don't want to make it so that there's so much congestion that no actual traffic can get through, but you also want to know where the weak points are.
Well, thank you, Henrik.
It might just be worth adding to that point, Chris, that it might just be worth adding that we do load testing on the network as well as the stress testing. So what we do is for a longer period of time each week, it's half an hour at the moment, we fire 300 transactions per second at the network. And that's about, it's in the order of 10 times what the actual Algorand TPS volume is. I think for the last quarter, average transactions per second on Algorand is 44. So it's kind of like we're doing 8 times, 7 times, 8 times what the actual Algorand AVM network's doing. And maybe a compromise is that we continue to run that sort of level of, right, can the network cope with 10 times what Algorand's doing? And for the last few months that I've been running it, absolutely nothing, not even if you're looking at the monitoring, you'd hardly know that was going on because it just copes with it. So, maybe that's a compromise, is that you do, a little bit of load testing as opposed to the stress testing. But
I think that's
certainly
either way.
Yeah,
it's a great point.
They go both hand in hand, right? Because what you get over the sustained period of time is that you might see if your cloud providers all of a sudden start throttling traffic, which some of them might be doing if you have a sustained load. Both are definitely very, very relevant. I would say they go hand in hand as I see it. Don't do one without the other.
One of the pushbacks that I would, if I didn't know what I was about the answer to what I was asked, would be, well, is there a point to stress test it if the Void network is using the same AVM tech as the Algorand tech is? And the answer would be the Algorand network and the Void network are completely different as far as who's running it and how distributed and how decentralized it is. And that does matter as far as what it can handle and how the actual communication works at these type of TPS, because One of the things that we did early is to make sure that the stake is actually extremely decentralized or extremely distributed, so that it is spread across all of the world and not in just a few actually nodes. So it is important to actually for us to do this to make sure that the network can handle the speeds that we expect at the distribution that we have.
Yeah, and I think to that point, Chris, one of the reasons that we've not been seeing the 7K TPS, which we had a couple of months ago, is that the ballast nodes were turned off, and I think that might be significant in terms of the TPS performance. But that's an area of expertise that I don't have. So that's the other thing that's changed during the time that I've been doing the stress testing.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Benny, do you have the do you know the URL that describes the distribution of the stake right now? It's forget what it
As
is.
in how much is staked on ballast nodes?
No, just like on the network itself. There's consensus.
Yeah,
I found it.
I think this.
Yeah, so if anybody's interested, what the distribution is, you can see where the actual stake is and what wallets, and you see that it's actually pretty. The largest wallet right now is 2.14%, and I think that's a ballast node that's still no, that's not anymore. That's I don't think there's any ballast nodes left. But yeah, the largest node is 2.14%, but most of them are well under 1%. So really good. But I think that's everything. All the different topics, Shanti, we can open up to open floor. If anybody wants to talk about the topics that we talked about already, or bring up new topics, please speak now. We'll give a few minutes for people to come up and say something or raise their hand. If not, we'll end this early. And I guess early is not that early. We only have 5 minutes left. We're long-winded today. Do we play the Jeopardy music right now? Do 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 do. Mitch,
Well, Mitch, come on up.
Mitch.
Hey guys, not too much to say. I just wanted to jump in on that about testing and production and working at Amazon. So I actually used to work at Amazon, and so just wanted to give a nod to yes, like it's always there's a little bit of scariness to testing and production because if you through some test break user traffic, like that's a horrible thing to happen. But at the end of the day, there's never an environment as real as production itself. You can think that you've got, a replicated close prod-like environment, but it's always different. And so there is definitely value to having careful game day like tests run. And, I've always appreciated that, but you got to have the right balance. Do good due diligence in previous environments first, right? Don't only test in prod, but I'm a believer in saying running good tests in production is a valuable thing.
Have you guys tested HighForge in production?
Yes, we definitely have. We again, like I said, we'll test. I mean, it's great with Voy on testnet. It feels less stressful, right? I just tested. We're on testnet. It's fine. We can test it, no problem. But even back in early days, yeah, we definitely would test stuff first on Algorand testnet and then jump over, run our own thing in Algorand mainnet to make sure everything works smoothly and then just go hide that or delete the app. So yeah, we absolutely would do that.
Thank you for that feedback, Mitch. Anything else you want to add or like come up in the last week or so? Heard your AMA went well.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, Cody did a great job. Small technical hurdle to start, but it was fun running through a HighForge thing. Yeah, nothing. I guess I'll add. Someone did mint one of our lucky T's. So number 222 turned out to be one of the all sevens. Kind of fun that it is a random number. So that's one of them. There can be more. We allowed there to be up to
222
4.
with a random number.
Yeah, number 222 rolled 7777. So that's pretty great. Funny. I was surprised that it came so early. Someone DM'd me and they're like, "Hey, it's already been found," and I hadn't even seen it yet. And I was like, "Nah, there's no way. There's only been a couple hundred." But sure enough, it got rolled. So there can be more, and future quests will also have more. So definitely keep an eye out for those. You lottery players, we've got more lottery NFTs coming for iForge.
Nice. That's lucky SOB. All right. Well, it doesn't look like anybody else came up, except other than Mitch, who's an all-star. Shanti, you want to close it out?
Yeah,
Words of wisdom.
I think that I don't know if you touched on this in the beginning, but we're thinking to just reduce the cadence and probably do it once every 2 weeks. So there will be no community roundtable next week, but there should be one the subsequent week. So we'll keep everyone posted. But yeah, we hope everyone has a
We're giving everybody 2 weeks to gain up the nerve to come up and actually talk to us.
exactly.
And if you guys don't in 2 weeks, maybe we'll give you 4 weeks. Just saying. Well, thank you, Shanti, Benny, Gov, Bjorn, D40, Cody, Rob, Zarmian, Mitch, Henrik. Hopefully, I didn't miss anybody. And thank you all of the listeners, both here in Discord and also on YouTube and Twitter. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed this type of format. So that's less presentation and more discussion. This is what I'd like this to be, rather than the same old every single time. But as always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being part of the Void community. Thank you so much for not being lazy and saying what currently is out there is good enough, and that you want to see blockchain achieve the vision that Satoshi Nakamoto originally had. So thank you so much, everybody, and until next time, talk to you all later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.